Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. We're talking Ronaldo again. We're going to get Ricky's point on everything that's happened with Ronaldo this week. Rick, welcome to the studio, first of all, mate.
Thanks a lot, mate. Impressed? I'm absolutely blown away, mate. It's amazing, it really is.
Good stuff,
Credit to you all.
Cheers, mate. You're part of this journey as well, mate. Okay, so this is part of you as well. But you mentioned the word impressive there, amazed, blown away. Let's talk about what's happened this week with the football club.
Blown away by that as well.
Cristiano Ronaldo. First of all, you've been supporting United for a long time. Have you ever experienced anything like this, like on this scale, as to how this has it's just gone over the top so quickly?
I can't remember anything like it. No, there's been arguments with managers, and there's been people frozen out. One or two of my favourite players I felt were frozen out. I felt as though Berbatov was getting frozen out the way he was treated towards the end of his time here. I've never witnessed anything like this. Never.
No, I mean, in terms of favourite players, where Ronaldo is and his contribution to the team right now, just an overall assumption and how you see Ronaldo in this team. Are you bothered that much if Ronaldo isn't part of the team the rest of this season?
Not really, but when I say not really, obviously we need Martial to stay fit. You know, we haven't got, I know they use Rashford there a little bit, but we just haven't got other decent strikers in my book apart from Martial and Ronaldo. It's obviously that Martial's his first choice. If, you know, I was about to say if he goes, he's surely going to be gone. We will have to sign a striker without any doubt in the window. If Martial gets injured, we'll be in a right mess. That's
it. We'll get into the team side of it in a minute. I'm just going to bring up a few points that Ronaldo has brought up in the interview. Everyone's been talking about it now, but on the show last night, the main show, this is where he really went in, especially went in on Erik Ten Hag. I mean, you've had your doubts and your positives from Ten Hag from when I've spoke to you this season in certain positions. Did it, to you, the way that Ronaldo was handled by Ten Hag, and Ronaldo's complaint was he missed pre-season, fair enough, but then he didn't start enough games at the start of the season. 37 minutes against Brighton, full 90 minutes against Brentford the next game. It's not bad for a player who hasn't had a pre-season, which his argument was. I think the problem Ronaldo had was the few games after that, which he didn't play, which we won them all. Can you see where Ronaldo's coming from, or to you, does it look like he's sort of just got upset that he isn't the main man anymore?
He's obviously been used to being the main man in his career wherever he's played, and he's obviously had a career that it might go unmatched. Certainly for the rest of my lifetime, it'll probably go unmatched. You know what I mean? I don't think you'll see anything like again. Somebody was telling me about Haaland. He's going to have to score 38 goals a year for about 18 years or something ridiculous.
Sure.
Whatever it wasn't quite that, but it was ridiculous. So he's been used to being the main man wherever he's gone, and now he's not the main man, and that, I think it has affected him. He's obviously somebody who does like the limelight. He is somebody who's keen on getting all those records, for himself as opposed. I won't say as opposed to team trophies and things like that, but he certainly likes the limelight, likes being the main man. He's suddenly not the main man, and I agree with you in that. He did well to get, what did he get against Brighton? Half a game roughly, then a full game at Brentford. And then to be left out of the team, and then for the team to start winning, you think he'd sort of think to himself, well, hang on a minute, maybe I have got to pick my game up or whatever. But at his age, he's probably training as hard as he's ever trained just to be able to keep fit enough to compete at that level. So I don't know where he can go to try and make himself any fitter or any better.
Yeah, he added to that the fact that he feels more fitter now than he has ever in his career. I mean, in shape-wise, he looks in great shape, but the big thing he sort of done is, so he brought a few points together and tried to make an excuse, in my opinion. You may differ from this, and obviously, guys, it's not all about me, it is about everyone's opinion, but provoked him to walking off the pitch at Tottenham Hotspur. That was the fact that he said Ten Hag made the excuse as to saying he didn't bring him on in the Manchester City game out of respect for his career. He didn't want to bring him on to a lost cause as such. He says that was an excuse. He also says that Ten Hag spoke nicely to the press and the media about him, but behind the scenes, he didn't. It was a different ball game. And then he said to him, I am not worth 3 minutes in a game. That's not me. I deserve more from that. From them 3 points, can you see where Ronaldo's coming from? Or do you feel like that's just that's just throwing a manager under the bus right now as an excuse as to why you're not playing as well, and the career that looks like it is coming to an end. Which way do you see it?
Well, I sort of agree on one point and disagree on another. I do think, in a manner, I do think because of the person who he is and the career that he's had, it's a bit rich asking him to get warmed up to go on 3 minutes before the end of a game when your team's leading 2-0. But at the same time, it's a team game, it's a squad game. It feels a little bit like he's being picked on a little bit when he's such a great player. But at the same time, you're trying to nail down those points, and they bring substitutes on for all sorts of reasons. When you're leading 2-0 with 3 minutes to go, they sometimes bring a sub on because it takes 45 seconds, and they might not put that 45 seconds or whatever it takes, onto the clock. And you could use any player to do that. But I don't. Once you're, and obviously you're on whatever wages you're on, and he'll be on astronomical wages, you're there to do a job for the team. So I can see his point, but I think it's a little bit out of order. If the manager wants you to go on, you should go on, no matter what the reason, no matter what the time in the game. But I'm definitely on Ten Hag's side in the Manchester derby. I'm on his side on that one.
Yeah.
What's the point? What was we down? We was 6-1 down at one point. Was we 6-1 down? I think we were, weren't we?
It was 4-1, then 6-1 Yeah. That was like the biggest margins.
Yeah. I would be completely on the manager's side there. What's the point of giving him a game? He's not, as great as he is, he's not going to score 5 goals, is he? Or, do you know what I mean? I just don't see the point of subjecting him to that. It's an embarrassing situation to be in. Think of it another way. It's not just about trying to get back in a game. What if you bring him on and it ends up, you're 6-1 down at that time, it might end up 10-1. Do you know what I mean?
Demoralising.
Yeah, demoralising.
It is. I understand that. They're the main points he was making in terms of do you feel like it is just because of this one-off player, like you said at the start, an absolute superstar of the game? This wouldn't happen with any other player at all. But it's finding that balance. From what you said then, it's like you're part of a team. And he bigs up the team. Yeah. And he said he apologised to his teammates. But it does look like... I'm trying to say it's like he thinks he's bigger than Manchester United on one occasion. Yeah. But then, like you said, you can see how it would knock him off a little bit. You just feel like because Manchester United aren't going places, and this whole fairy tale story that he thought in his head was going to happen at another club, the club where it really started for him, hasn't happened. He just is struggling to come to terms with it at the end of the day.
I'm sure that's it. He's now reached this age. He's now at a World Cup as well. I think it's his 5th World Cup, by the way.
It is his 5th one, yeah.
And I think he'll find that he's not a nailed-on starter, maybe even, when I say even, for the Portugal team at the World Cup. This is going to come to, it comes to everybody. One thing you can't fight is time. You cannot fight time. So we might find that he's not a nailed-on starter in this Portugal team, or that he gets dragged off if they're losing a game 1-0. If they were losing a game 1-0 6 or 8 years ago, they wouldn't dream of bringing him off. He'd been a main man they think might get an equaliser. It wouldn't surprise me in this World Cup if they're losing 1-0, if they sub him to try and get somebody on who's a bit sharper, perhaps. You know what I mean? So it comes to you. That's age. And then whatever club he goes to after he leaves us, he might find he's in the same boat. He's 30. When's he 38? I'm not sure. He's 37 now, isn't he?
I think.
So he's coming up 38. Defenders sometimes play till 40, goalkeepers till 40, sometimes even a little bit more. But for strikers, it's even tougher.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just rare occasions, Zlatan comes to mind, players like that. Well, they have to be at the top of their physical game constantly and working, like you said, even harder at that age to try and stay in shape with younger players coming through. But, I mean, it does look now like the United and the statement they've made today in terms of letting everyone know in due course, but they are looking down avenues as to what they can possibly do. A lot of rumours now about the contract being terminated, maybe a neutral ground sort of agreement between the player and the football club. But at the end of the day, you got to look at it now as a fan. We're not going to see Ronaldo back in that United shirt. The club has to move forward. Does that mean moving forward into the transfer market in terms of this season? Is it writing the season off if we don't go into the transfer window now? In January?
obviously it still isn't done yet, is it? But we've still got to use the word if. I know it's 99.999% that it'll be done.
99,
yeah, you know what I mean? But it isn't done yet. If he's gone, got to get a new striker. They've got to. They can't play the rest of this season with Martial as the main man and Marcus Rashford as backup. Am I missing anyone? I think Alanga can play through the middle, but they don't often try.
If you look at it now, as it is, if Ronaldo isn't in the team, you could say, and this may play into what you said before, Rick, because I look at it, he would have Rashford and Martial as his only options in the middle. That's what he's played so far this season, just going off what he's played. Then you would have Anthony and Sancho for the right. I know you like that idea. And then Garnacho and Alanga for the left, in my opinion. I know Alanga right predominantly, but I feel like you would then have 2 for each position in that front 3. We've got covering midfield, Eriksen and Bruno, and Donny van der Beek. We don't know if he's going to be there, but it looks good on paper. But everyone at Manchester United, all the fans know, there's the injury concern to Martial. Marcus Rashford has scored all 8 goals this season from the left. He's not an out and out number 9. I don't want him as number 9 at all. But that's how Ten Hag would look at it. It's difficult getting a good striker in January. That's the problem.
I'm not suggesting that you're going to go out and sign some megastar, some Lewandowski or something like that. But you've got to get a striker from somewhere because Martial's injury record's poor. If he's out again, I don't fancy.
You're talking about a body here, like just another body.
Yeah. I'm not talking about a megastar. We've just got to get a striker in. I don't know if we've got some young kid. I don't watch a lot of the youth teams. I saw that Joe Hugill a couple of seasons ago, and I liked him. I think he's only about 18 and 19.
He's not played much in the under 21s this season. We've covered a lot. Charlie McNeil's struggling right now. The better positions are midfield and defence.
And the wingers, obviously.
We are struggling for forward.
We need a striker. We've just got to get a body in, like you say. It doesn't have to be a £100 million player. It could be a £10 million player from somewhere. But we've got to have another striker, someone who can hit with the ball, who can hold it up a little bit if Martial's not fit. And he likes Rashford. I know we've got other wingers, but Rashford seems to play on the left nearly all the time. As far as I'm concerned, when he plays Rashford through the middle, Ronaldo was still there and sitting on the bench, as you pointed out. We won those games with Marcus playing at number 9. So we have won big games. We beat Liverpool. I think he played against Liverpool.
And
Arsenal. So it can work for you. But over the course of a season, I just think you'd need somebody a bit stronger and somebody who holds it up better.
Somebody holds it up better. Yeah, he's it. I think Martial works better in that position because I think that then helps Bruno. With 2 options, he's got the speed out wide, or he can play it into a player in the middle like Martial who can hold the ball up, then that can then take defenders away and give space on the wing. It gives us more options. I think we're less one dynamic, I would say because that's what we're like with Rashford, I think, up front. It seems to be not the best option for us going forward. Names, Ricky. I know you've mentioned Danny Welbeck before in terms of strikers and stuff. Would you go? How far down would you go to get a body in?
Right. I mean, obviously, when I mentioned Danny Welbeck, I got a few people giggling at me, but a couple of things. I noticed they had to name 50 for the England squad, didn't they, before, and he had to whittle it down. He was in the 50, apparently, so I read somewhere.
I think he was, right.
You know what I mean? So, and I read an article in The Athletic the other night when they were naming what the England team... You probably know these manager games. I don't know these manager games that people play, where they rate all the players on every different little aspect of the game. And Danny Welbeck was the 3rd-rated striker. He was the 3rd-rated striker behind Kane and Wilson. So in
attributes,
on that, I know it's only a manager's game, but obviously they are rating the players. Chris Smalling was a number 1 centre back, by the way. But so and when he picked the England team, Welbeck wasn't in it by virtue of one place, basically. Do you know what I mean? But look, I'm not saying necessarily Welbeck, but Welbeck would be fine. He'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's it. It is a case of looking ahead, moving on without Ronaldo now. It's sad. No one wanted to see it end this way, but I mean, in terms of Ronaldo, where would you rate him before we finish? In terms of your time watching United, as a forward, is he up there with the best? Would you rate him in your top 3 that you've seen at the football club?
Wow. It's just, we've had some fantastic
I know you've got a long
players.
list, mate, because you've been going a little bit longer.
I've been going a long time, I've been going a long time. It's too difficult to say. I mean, some of the players we've seen, Dwight York, Andy Cole, Berbatov, Mark Hughes, Eric, Ronaldo, Rooney, Cantona.
The club always
Teddy
moves on,
Sheringham
mate.
was a fantastic player.
Definitely.
I mean, when we won that treble, we
Even
had
Ollie
four great...
himself.
Ollie himself, fantastic player. So I wouldn't like to rank him in the top. I'm not saying I wouldn't rank him in the top three, but it's very, very difficult. But he's certainly, with his record, I mean, obviously we're only talking about his spell at United there. We're only talking about his spell at United. With what he's done in the game, he's surely the number 1 striker that's ever played the game.
Yeah, that's it. Guys, that pretty much sums up this video. Cheers for Ricky, cheers for coming on. We'll be doing more videos like this going forward. 3 of us, 4 of us, 2 of us. We've got all sorts of different content coming up. Cheers for watching, everybody. Do give the video a like, share the video, subscribe to the United Stand, and we'll see you in the next one.